And we are going live. So, I'd like to welcome everybody to the State of the Empire Assembly for the 5th of October 2019. It is officially the spooky month. No, we don't have anything necessarily themed around that planned. Please don't ask. So, as usual, I'm going to thank all of you for attending, and I'm going to get right down to it. And we're going to start with welcome to all of our new members within the past week. We have, in no particular order, Netherclone,
Yep.
Trahipak, Josh Grumple, Battle Muppet, Warhead, Papa John, Night Shadow, Colin Sasuman, Grim, Narudi, Akarui. I'm
Uh,
sorry, I'm never gonna get that. Um, Sergeant Doomforge, Drakefire, Uatora, Vic Millen T98, Gambling Chicken, Acid Games, Lord Tism, Balin, Whitemail, Saint of Mirrors, Ace Aiden, Vihita Loca? I'm gonna call him Fajita Man. Um, Yokai Calamus, Barmy, Unconformity, Shadow Wolf, Matthew H33, and Krishanu. If you did not hear your name called, then you have not signed up on the website in the past week, and we pull our new member greetings from the website list. Beyond that, I'm going to go ahead and hop right into promotions. I'm going to say we don't have a whole lot to announce this week, but I am going to promote Livid to E5. He has been here consistently. He has constantly been on the Destiny grind. He has been hopping in game with just about anybody who asks for help, assuming he's not already occupied in another game. And he's just had his nose right to that grindstone, and that's the kind of dedicated heavy player that occasionally you just need a few of in every group. Moving on from there, I'd like to point out that I think it's safe to say the launch of Shadowkeep, despite some rocky first 12 hours or so, has been a great success, not just for Bungo, but for all of us here. We have grown the Discord by about 50 members or so in a very small handful of days, and I'm quite pleased with those numbers. I plan to get them up higher, of course, but I see a very bright and prosperous future for all of us here at the Empire, and just plain great old time. Should have no problem finding people to play games with the way things are going. That being said, I think we're going to be looking at opening up a couple of new legions in the near future. And to kick off this trend, I would like to note that the 4th Legion is officially going to be reopening. And on that note, we have one more promotion. I'm going to be promoting Warhead to 01, and he will be taking over the 4th Legion. And assuming all goes well, he'll see 02 in a very short order. He will be needing to find and appoint executive officers and command staff in the near future as well. The 4th Legion will effectively represent our European Legion, the first being US West, well, I guess America's West at this point, the second being America's East, and the fourth being our primary European presence in Destiny 2. So I'm glad to see it reopening after some rocky history with people leaving and not having anybody ready to take over and insufficient recruitment methods in the past. I look forward to seeing the curse of the fourth broken by a man I consider, after a very long conversation, to be incredibly capable. So, Warhead, would you like to say a few words?
Thanks.
All right, and a few words.
No, I didn't prepare a speech, so give me a chance. But yeah, obviously, like you said, we had a very long conversation yesterday. It was like so much longer than I anticipated it was going to be. Uh, but um, but yeah, like I said, I've got experience. You know, I've been a part of communities in the past and things. I've got experience with recruiting, and even though I'm new to Destiny, um, you know, that's hopefully one thing with my skills with the game, but then another thing with the experience within the community environment as well. So hopefully over time, like you said, we can get Forth up and running and be a valuable asset in general.
All right. So, with that all being said, that's actually going to move me into our next major point, the recruitment standards and processes. In the past, we've made a habit of sending random invites through the game, just kind of plucking whatever we can here or there. We've had a couple people hitting up social media and things like that. The problem with this is we'll have a lot of people recruiting into their legion from places that don't really fit their legion's intended time zone or structure. And from now on, the basic standard for trying to recruit anybody into the Empire is to give them the Discord first. Once they are in Discord, they will very quickly be taken care of by a combination of automated processes that are going into place, and of course, officers and administrative staff will help them find their footing, get them to where they need to go, and ensure that they settle in nicely around here. Biggest problem we've had with the in-game recruiting has been a lot of people join the clan, but they're not really interested in the community. They're not interested in the social aspect. They just want to log in, collect their free engrams, and occasionally get some easy help without putting any effort in. So they don't get into the Discord, they don't register on the website, they don't really pull their weight. It tends to be a lower quality, statistically, obviously there are exceptions, through the random invite process. So from now on, it's going to be plugging the Discord because the kind of people who are going to be on the Steam community, the kind of people who are going to be on Reddit, the kind of people who are going to be on various forums and various places, they're probably more engaged with the game and with the community side of things than the average random guy who's running around. So they're going to usually put more effort in. We've already seen a lot more effort from some of you new guys than I really expected to see 2 days in. So I definitely appreciate that from several of you. So that's going to be how that's handled. We shill the Discord. When you get into the Discord, an automated message is going to be put up, and that's going to get you started. There's going to be myself, Frodo, an officer. Somebody should be around to get you situated quickly and efficiently. Which actually brings me smoothly right into the next point about our new onboarding process. Before the night is through, I'm going to be implementing a new method that I've been testing on a private server with a couple of my higher ups just to make sure that things work properly. When you log into the Discord, it is going to drop an automated message right into the same screen where you land. That message is going to tag you as a user so you know that it's there. It's going to, of course, act as a basic welcome. It's going to tell you a list of the games we play, a list of the legions for each game. Some games are one legion, some games like Destiny are particularly large and need several legions. And it's going to tell you a command that you can enter to be assigned to that legion. And it's going to tell you what the time zone and what game that legion is so you know what you're getting into. It's going to automatically give you, in the instance again, for what's important for most of you, the Bungie.net profile of the Legion, a link to our website, and a link to the Steam community. So you should have everything you need to get on board right there in one go, and the whole process should be pretty streamlined to where even if most of the higher ups are in bed, you still get in, get the roles assigned to you by the bot, get the list of where you need to go, and have access to all the resources you need without human intervention being necessary. I would still encourage people to be friendly and welcome new players as they come in. That's just a good habit to be in, I feel. But it should at least allow us to ensure, as I said, if nobody's around or whatever, nobody's sitting here twiddling their thumbs waiting to get into the group properly. So, that being said, are there any questions, comments, or concerns about anything brought up thus far?
No, not for me.
Ditto.
Loud and clear.
All right, glad it's concise this evening. I'd like to remind everybody, just in case anybody here hasn't, we do ask you to register on our website at kaldaranempire.com. I am paying for a domain name out of pocket. I'd appreciate it if it got some use. It'll allow us to better track your rank, your participation in the group, certain accolades that we like to give out in recognition for what people do, and it'll also give you access to tournaments, special events, giveaways, planning, and more, especially as the group grows larger and we start finding our way into the more interesting and organized side of things. Overall, we're still pretty laid back. We're not going to require people to participate in events that they don't want to. We're not going to shove ridiculously rigid structure down anybody's throats. But we are going to offer some of that organized play for those who are interested. And we're going to try to find a good middle ground and a balancing point for everybody. We're not overly formal or anything like that, so I don't expect there to be too many issues on that front. And of course, it never hurts. Join into the Steam community. I want to see those numbers rise. It's going to make us look better. It's going to make it easier to continue recruiting. And of course, speaking of which, I would appreciate it if I could get a few people here and there to take 5 minutes out of their day. Once in a while, pop onto the Steam forums or the subreddits or whatever particular kind of thing you find yourself actually making use of, and just kind of give our recruitment threads a little bump. Let people know what your experience has been like so far, how you feel about the group. Get some positive feedback coming into where people can see that we're not just three guys on the forums constantly posting a recruitment thread and not getting replies. Let them see that we are actually pretty successful. We're getting people in. We're helping to accommodate all of you. We're working with you to get things done, to help you enjoy your experience, and to find people to play the games with. That being said, for those present or watching it now or in the future, I'd like to note that we actually don't just play Destiny 2. We have a presence in Destiny 2, Warframe, Path of Exile, Elder Scrolls Online, PlanetSide 2. We actually have our own private Minecraft server. We have. Trying to remember all the rest. Mostly dead, but willing to rebuild presence in Star Wars The Old Republic. And we're always looking to expand into new games. So if anybody here in a week, 2 weeks, a month, whenever you start hitting the point where you've kind of burnt out, maybe you don't want to play Destiny all day, every day, and you see another game kind of catching your interest, please let us know. We'd be happy to expand in there with you and make sure you had some people to go with. The worst part about hacking it on your own is trying to have to find a whole new community or a whole new friend group every time you decide to try a new game or to go back to a game and your old group's dead and you don't know what's going on. It's a pain. we understand that. That's part of what Kaldara was founded to alleviate. So help us help you. Simple enough, I would like to think. Any further comments, questions, or concerns that anybody would like me to address while we're here?
BTS Jericho?
Nope. Well informed.
All right, well, either I'm doing a great job or I'm doing a terrible job. Not sure which. There is no in between. But
Nah, you're doing a good job, man.
I think that'll actually cover the bulk of it. Again, I'd like everybody to take a moment and appreciate the spectacular growth we're seeing. Be sure to thank your commanding officers, your executive officers, and those who've taken on positions of responsibility within the group. You know, they help to make things work and function, and try to provide you with a better experience than you might get by just hacking it out there on your own in the wild. I know we had some people, I think, attempting a raid earlier. I'm not sure how that went. I know we have. Well, I've certainly been enjoying the Vex offensive personally, and the Vex invasions.
I
Those are particularly
I
fun
I
today.
concur with that. I
So
concur with that. Those are a lot of fun.
yeah, the sheer like massive enemies that they throw at you sometimes is really fun. It genuinely feels like a decent battlefield going on out. The Vex invasion, you just finish them off and you see this pile of just scrapped Vex parts completely covering the surface of the moon. It's great. So I think there's certainly still room for improvement when it comes to Destiny 2, but I think overall Bungie has done a good job with this one. I think
Yeah,
we're
man.
gonna
I see a lot of negative like comments on multiple platforms, but I think it's fucking great, man.
there are certainly reasons to criticize, don't get me wrong. Um I've been a rather outspoken critic of Destiny since D1 because I know what they promised and what they delivered, and there's a rather large disparity there. But
It's a very
I can
Yeah.
stark contrast.
mostly put that on Activision, and I'm willing to give them the chance moving forward. And ultimately, I'm enjoying my play experience, and that's the main thing. Ultimately, could it be better? Yes. Are there things that should be in the game? Player trading, absolutely. But we've got what we've got, and we have to kind of judge it on the merits of how it is now. And I've made considerable efforts to do so in recent time. So, regardless of all the broken promises, we do have a very serviceable and enjoyable gameplay experience. And I certainly look forward to enjoying it with all of you.
I
Agreed.
concur.
That being said, I'd also like to inform everybody, since we have a lot of new people in the chat, that while we have 3 legions in Destiny 2, there is a 4th clan that is deliberately exclusive, and it represents people with a higher sense of dedication to the group, a certain identity within the group, if you will. I don't want to get too heavy into identity because you know where that goes these days, but
Free.
re. But the sense where they're kind of proud to be part of the group. They're here on a regular basis. They're happy to talk with me, with anybody else. I get along with them well, and they represent something of my personal combat retinue as Emperor, and that is the prestigious Kaldaran Imperial Knights, of which we actually have one present here today. I think the group's like 9 people right now. It's not very many. I've mostly been happy to leave people where they are, and I just have my core little group for theme and fun mostly. It's primarily made up of people who used to be officers or people who stepped up but have either taken in positions somewhere else, and you don't want to be trying to run 2 or 3 legions across 2 or 3 games at once. So, we kind of retire them from their destiny position and send them like Prometheus here, for example. He now runs the 8th Legion, which is our Elder Scrolls Online position. And so I brought him into the Imperial Knights as he used to be the executive officer for the 2nd Legion. Haxazard there, the winner of our Tournament of Opulence last season. He is
Congratulations.
now the 2nd Legion's executive officer. And that actually gives me a great segue. Tournaments. We do run a seasonal tournament, obviously, every season. Go figure. The reward this past season was an in-group title. Haxazard is, of course, the winner, and thereby shall be known as the Paladin of Opulence. We do try to name them after the seasons, because it's rather interesting. He also
Congrats.
received a digital deluxe copy of Shadowkeep, courtesy of our treasury.
Nice.
The runner-up was Deadpool, who won a standard copy of Shadowkeep as a runner-up reward. So we run the seasonal tournaments as a bracketed set of 1v1 matches, but we're also looking to start up other smaller periodic tournaments for Crucible, possibly Gambit, because I think they have private matches in Gambit now, correct?
Yeah.
That's correct.
So
Yeah.
no reason we couldn't do some of that. We could run some 3v3 or some 6v6 Crucible. We could run some Gambit matches and get kind of a variety of tournaments going. I like to foster some friendly competition within the group. Everybody, try to be good sports about it, please. And there's also talk, depending on how the legions flesh out, of potentially having some interlegionary competitions, where the 4th Legion and the 2nd Legion might send their best combatants to do battle to see who is the better fighting legion. Things like that, just to keep things interesting,
Sounds fun.
That's what I like to think.
You
So
know,
with that, no, go ahead.
constructive criticism.
Absolutely.
Pick between two or three people to kind of commentate it, and you can have a little bit more of a, I guess, audience toward it if you live stream it and stuff like.
That's another thing we'd like to do. What I would really appreciate is if Bungo would give us a spectator mode so we could get decent live streaming of events like that. But what are you going to do? However, we can certainly look into seeing if I can get, if both players have decent enough machines to handle it, that I can bring in a stream from each of them and collate them together into a single stream with both screens being viewable by the audience. That would be interesting. Of course, it would all have to be on a delay to avoid anybody trying to give positions away or anything silly like that, but that's entirely doable. So, yeah, a lot of things that we kind of have planned for down the line as we start figuring things out. We'll need people who know what they're doing when it comes to web development or code and things such as that. Right now, I'm kind of doing all of it mostly solo on that front. So, it is what it is. We make do. That's how we live.
Yep.
So, that being said, I actually don't have anything further. If anybody, like I said, has any games that they have an interest in seeing the group get involved with, please let us know. Beyond that, I'm going to go ahead and open the floor for any final statements from anybody who'd like to make them.
I'd like to make one.
Absolutely.
So I just want to say that so far, from my own personal experience, the Legion has definitely been living up to its promises of making the group as welcoming, a lot of friendly banter and self mockery in the process, but overall, a solid group of players, people willing to pitch in, help each other out. And from my own personal experience with other groups like clans or mobs or whatever have you want to call them, you guys are definitely up there at the top.
Well, I think I speak for everybody when I say thank you. We appreciate
Much
feedback,
appreciated.
positive or negative, but we do appreciate when people, take a moment to tell us we're doing a good job. It's, hits you right in in that soft spot in your chest a little bit. Because you do a lot, you work a lot at this sort of thing to provide a nice environment for everybody, and eh, you can't always please everybody, so that can be a little annoying at times when somebody starts just slinging mud for no reason. We've had a couple of those jokers pop up because they wanted to start crap in the group, and then they stumble upon a recruitment thread 3 months later and decide to try to troll the thread. It's the internet. What are you gonna do?
Hey, Pharaoh.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Darkfire.
What was that?
Oh, I was just saying thank you to Darkfire.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I'm sure.
You guys are most welcome.
There you go. So with that said, anything else that anybody'd like to add before we go ahead and give the meeting a call for the week?
I got two things.
All right.
First of all, that soft spot in your heart, or excuse me, that soft spot in your chest is called your heart, Pharaoh. You should know that. Number two, I've only been here for a couple days, so I'll keep it short and sweet. Um, only being here 2 days, I've already seen the amount of camaraderie that is a part of this group. There's not many places that you can just join in and then instantly be, I guess I won't say accepted, but I guess be allowed to be a part of the guys, which have you. And it's been a really refreshing experience just because I got back into Destiny and now I'm able to not only enjoy the game by myself, but with other people that have the same, I guess, goal, obviously, which is to get as far as we can and grind and grind and grind. So it's really refreshing to have that kind of atmosphere here, and then not a lot of places have it. So having that, excuse me, separates this group from most of the other groups that I've been talked to or been offered to join, stuff like that. Within I want to say probably 30 minutes, I was already in a raid or not a raid, a crucible match with like three other people here. So it's super welcoming, and I really enjoy it. I appreciate everything everyone here does. So appreciate it. Keep it up. And then need anything from me, I joke around a lot. But if you need to have like a serious talk, you're having a day where you just don't want to you're feeling pretty down, you can always come to me. I joke around a lot when I'm in game, but out of game, I can be really serious if need be. So if you ever need someone to talk to, let me know.
Yeah, same for me. Same for me.
I second that.
Absolutely. So I'm gonna go ahead and address that in two parts. Number one, come on now, I don't have a heart. You should know this. And number two, absolutely, dude. I'm positively glad to hear that everybody's kind of fitting in pretty quickly. That it's been easy to kind of get in. We've never wanted the group to devolve into a series of high school cliques, basically. I've tried to avoid that. A lot of groups you will see that there'll be this guy. They're all part of the same group, but this group of guys over here kind of keeps themselves, and this group kind of keeps themselves, and you start seeing them kind of balkanize themselves. And I've never really wanted to have that happen, despite the fact that obviously we have a legion structure that technically separates people. Somehow we've managed to keep those people happy to play with each other instead of only looking to their own legion and getting caught up in the numbers, which I like a little interlegionary competition. It's a fun play. Everybody, it's no different than my sports team will beat the hell out of your sports team. It's the same thing, but I'm glad that everybody has found it pretty easy to settle in and to get into the groove with the group, and that it's been pretty smooth sailing for everybody, or at least everybody who's mentioned anything. So
Before we close, I do have a question. I'm wondering, does anybody have any concerns about the group or any suggestions or feedback?
I've only been in about 2 hours, so probably just need a little bit more time before I can really
Second that. It's
get into
like
the deep.
2 days. I played like one game as a group. Like, need to feel the ground first before making any.
absolutely.
Perfect.
So I'd just like to note that we hold these meetings every Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And while nobody is required to attend, we absolutely appreciate the attendance, as it does give us the chance to kind of speak with you in real time and get some feedback as close to in person as we're going to get. Text can leave a lot to interpretation, so the feedback through voice is nice, but of course anybody who maybe isn't necessarily comfortable with that, you're more than what if the layer of separation of text is something for you. Hey, I was antisocial as a kid, I get it. Um, Feel free. My DMs are open. Frodo's DMs are open. We have suggestion channels. We have feedback channels. If you want to do it in public to call us out on something, if you want to do it in private because you don't want to draw attention to yourself, we're happy to work with you because it is my belief as the creator and founder of this entire thing that nothing I do means a damn if there's nobody here to enjoy it. And the way that I was just speak practically for a moment, the way people are here to enjoy it is if I'm responsive to their feedback. So while this isn't saying much, consider me more accountable than probably 99% of your politicians.
That's a fair criticism.
I trust you.
Well, I said I was accountable. I didn't say you should trust me. Trust no one, not even yourself. All right. So, one day, maybe. To be honest, I'm probably not slimy enough to make it into the Oval Office. But that is a different conversation for a different time, and that is not a commentary on who currently does or does not sit in the White House. If you want to have that conversation, we have a news/politics channel. Try to keep it contained because not everybody wants to deal with that, and video games make a good escape, and we don't want to disrupt that. So, moving right along. I think that should about cover it if nobody has anything else to input for the evening.
Nope.
Yeah, I'm going to take that as a solid nope, 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 nope down. I'm going to cross
We're
the
good to
board.
call
So again, I'd like to thank everybody for attending. We had a nice turnout. Currently at 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15 people in the same chat at the same time. Not bad at all for something that's not mandatory and is some absolutely ungodly hour for our European contingent.
That's not bad.
So, unfortunately, this is the time that we could get the bulk of people. In my experience, we've kind of polled about moving the time back or forward or anything like that, and it's generally been pretty solidly we should just leave it where it is.
It's kindly part of the reason why I've been so quiet. I'm like sat in my chair nodding off.
Yeah.
I
So,
got friends who live over in Europe, so I know what you're feeling right now.
yep. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna say that that'll do it for tonight. Thank everybody for attending the State of the Empire for this week, and hopefully I'll see the bulk of you next week with some new people. And in the near future, I will be reaching out. Hopefully, a few of you might be up for helping some of our recruitment efforts, because the more the
Definitely.
group can grow, the easier it is to find somebody to play with. That's the main reason behind our desire for growth, beyond the natural human habit of chasing bigger and bigger numbers because they look pretty. And with that, I bid everybody a fantastic evening. You're all welcome to hang around for a nice long after party if you don't mind the sheer number of people in here. It may die down incredibly or it might not. And I'll probably be hopping back onto Destiny.